Welcome everybody, I am Alexander Linz, Head of Content of WatchAdvisor.com, and with me is Jean-Christophe Babin.
Welcome everyone in Basel 2019.
Jean-Christophe is the CEO of Bulgari, global Bulgari. So you are in charge not only of watches, jewelry, you have hotels, perfumes,
And
leather goods.
Leather goods, that's 5 main activities.
So you're really the big boss of Bulgari.
In that sense, yeah.
No, that's it. I know. We know each other for a couple of years. Jean-Christophe, how would you resume the Bulgari watch business and watch jewelry business in the last year? So have you been, were you happy? Could it have been better? Would you have assumed less, more, up, down, left, right? Give me a little bit of a positioning where you think, where you stand.
Well, better for sure, because we always dream and shoot for better, and the sky has no limits, in the sense that in watch and jewelry alike, we talk about relatively big markets which have in common to be relatively fragmented. So watches is a branded market, but even the leaders have relatively modest market shares. And jewelry is a mostly unbranded market where the branded leaders have also quite small market share. So obviously it's reasonable for a brand to be extremely ambitious in that context, because regardless of the market developments, you have no excuses not to take market share. So that's, I would say, the global frame, and obviously between those markets, it's a fact that jewelry has been growing better in the recent years, not only for Bulgari but for all players, and that watches, as reflected by the Swiss watch industry numbers, have been, generally speaking, more sluggish. And this is interesting because it's the only category in luxury. I'm referring also to other businesses where we operate, the hotels, the lodges, the goods, which are buoyant, and therefore there is really a lag between general growth of the Swiss watch industry, which is low single digits, and general growth of overall luxury, which is rather in the double digits. And it will be interesting then to see how, as Bulgari, we tackle that, because I deeply believe that it's not that there is an issue in luxury. There's no issue. I mean, our results as a group are excellent, and the same for other multi-activity groups.
So in the upper price level?
It's not only a matter of price. I think that what we see when you look at the publishing of yearly results from the different groups, the multiple luxury groups are having much better results versus a pure mono-category groups, which in Switzerland obviously are several, which we know them. And apparently the watch category is struggling more than the other categories to be relevant, especially to newer generations. And this takes me now to the second point, which is what Bulgari has been trying really to lead in those recent years. That is what we call the Rinascimento, the renaissance of Swiss watchmaking by an Italian brand. Meaning bringing into our watches a real vision of what could be a 21st century watch, rather than necessarily replicating icons which have made us glorious in the 60s or 70s. So we have a parti pris which is really envisioning the future. The best example for sure is Octo, but not only. I think that Serpenti is neither round, neither square. It's Serpenti, it's ovoid, if we may somehow find a geometric description of Serpenti. So 2 rule-breaking shapes already, and that's the outside beauty. And the inside, obviously, especially on men's watch, is also, bringing in a new lifestyle, that is what I call the slim fit, which is extremely contemporary when it comes to men's dressing, especially the young generation. And the slim fit watch fits perfectly with this contemporary young gentleman.
The only watches that really go under the shirt.
That is, and this is where our chronograph breaks further rules.
No, but all of your.
But the chronograph, really especially because the chronograph are famous for being thick, logically, because
bulky.
Those are first because the movements themselves are pretty complex, and the fact to come with an ultra thin chronograph besides a world record is the first really chronograph which goes under the shirt sleeves, and it looks like a stupid story, but I can tell you that for many clients, one of the hurdles to chronograph is that they are not elegant. and there is a market for elegant chronograph. And I think that this new Finissimo chronograph is also an entry into a new category, the elegant chronograph.
Let me ask you a question. When you use a chronograph, what are you using it for? Cooking spaghettis, tea?
Well, in that case, we have added a GMT function. So
yeah, but in general, if I ask you if you use a chronograph, you're using it for things like
5 minutes cooking my eggs,
cooking some spaghetti al dente, taking maybe a little timing somewhere, but you're not...
the chronograph is a look. So it's a look of the dial, with a dial which is a bit more instrumental and functional than the three-hands watch, which for some people is ultimate elegance, but for some other people is a bit simplistic.
Yeah.
And so the chronograph look is something which is very much appreciated, but I have many feedback of clients, especially in Asia, but not only, where the main hurdle insofar has been not so much the look, which they really attract, but the fact that it's not perceived as elegant enough to graciously slid under the sleeve. And with Finissimo GMT, we fix obviously that issue. We add another function versus cooking your eggs, which is GMT. I mean, we're all traveling a lot.
Yes.
And obviously the fact that, I mean, you can keep, I mean, your local time here and then adjust by, okay, now I'm in somewhere in Shanghai. It's 9 in Shanghai, it's a quarter to 9, and then here it's 12 apparently, if I read properly here.
Yeah.
It's very convenient.
Yes.
So
gives you everything you need.
And it's a convenience which only is not necessarily automatic and easy to find on mobile phones. So sometimes GMT somehow.
Yeah, you have to program the phone.
Yeah, it's one of the few functions that
or you have to,
is not so direct, obvious on mobile, whereas everything else is available on the mobile phone.
Because your smartphone, when you get into in the country, when you leave the plane, it automatically sets to the new hour.
But not necessarily keeping track on the main screen of the two time zones. Whereas, so at last we have a watch which also keeps tracks of those.
And pretty elegant and 6.9 millimeters
for the total watch.
Yes,
and inside the engine is 3.3, which is
hilarious.
Well, I mean, it's really a big quantum leap, because we talk about not, I mean, a slight reduction. We talk about 50% slimmer than ever before. So this means that in terms of...
It's rare to find a chronograph that is a movement that has entirely a height of 6.9 millimeters as your entire case has.
Usually it's the height of the slimmest chronographs.
Yeah, I know.
So I think some of the reference chronographs...
It's the entire case.
Of the 20th century, where to the point at 6.9.
And besides this, people ask me from time to time, Alexander, how can you name me a design, an iconic design that has been recently being created? There's nothing coming. It's so boring in the watch industry. And I always say, guys, there's always one design in one decade, if we look back. And this decade is, for me, the decade of the Octo Finissimo.
Thank you.
No, honestly,
you're an expert.
Honestly, there's nothing comparable on the market that is so iconic, so stylish, so particular, and you would recognize it as a Bulgari once you know it is a Bulgari. Yeah. There's no doubt.
Which is still, I mean, something we have to further establish.
Of course. But once, this is Bulgari. And this will stay Bulgari forever.
Likewise for ladies' watch, this, even though it's born today, is immediately Bulgari, because you recognize the ovoid shape and attribute it to the serpenti, which is already well established.
Yeah.
And the bracelet itself are the snake skin, which is also very much rooted in our jewelry creativity. So it's a brand new collection, but at the same time, like the Octo, it says Bulgari. And this is pretty unusual in pretty young collections, because young collections struggle often to be recognized as part of a given brand.
Okay. And also focusing on new materials, not new, but challenging also with ceramics. This is really something I like very much. You're pushing the elegance to new limits, making it light, making it thin, making it look elegant, matte. There's no shiny aspect. It stays where it is. And
you were talking about this kind of decade watches. I think that the Octo cannot be valued only by the octagonal shape as it is and the 110 angles. Neither to the thickness only. Those are two elements, but there is a third element which we immediately understand there, is that whether it's titanium, ceramic, carbon, it's the same color inside out. That is, we have brought back into watches, because this was done in the 80s by plastic watches, eventually a color identity which includes the bracelet, the dial, and the case. Whereas 99% of watches have always a contrast between the dial and the case.
And the bracelet mostly.
And the bracelet.
Because
and the
bracelet
Octo
is,
Finissimo signature is a combination of thinness of this very strong shape made of 110 angles.
Unicolor.
A unique color, which is something that you won't find. As I mentioned, interestingly, was invented by plastic watches, because by molding plastic, somehow the dial and the case were coming in the same color.
Either looking good or not.
But ever since, no one has dared that uniformity in the luxury segment. And we have been a pioneer also in creating that new look, which is the integrated look, which is very Italian. If you think about Italian minimalism, it's very Italian. So it's not a surprise that it comes from the Italian Rinascimento.
The Rinascimento, the rebirth of coolness.
Renaissance.
Renaissance, yeah, the Renaissance, the rebirth of. Let me just ask you this: is there any particular market where these watches, the Octo Finissimo, perform exceptionally good compared to other markets?
Well, Finissimo, as it is, that is before the chronograph, has been amazingly balanced in terms of, and probably for the point you made explicit that in each decade you have something a bit special, and I think this, for watch lovers, has been from Japan to United States pretty much unacknowledged. What's interesting with the chronograph is that probably we'll have a stronger growth in a big market like China, where Chinese insofar have been pretty resistant to chronograph because they just don't like the bulky look.
Okay.
And if you look at the leaders in China, they are selling only watches. And the watches who are specialized in chronographs, I know them because I've been myself leading one of those, have always struggled in China because the chronograph.
So you believe that the watch will be a particular success in China?
Yeah, I do, because it's elegant.
Okay.
And Chinese want elegant watches.
And technical functions.
Obviously, it's sophisticated, it's cool. I mean, if you think about, clients in China, they are mostly millennials. They are used, obviously, to a very contemporary environment, from the Pudong skyscrapers to, the Lambos or Ferraris of this world, which are the cars that they love to drive. So to that generation, this chronograph will be particularly relevant.
Okay. So you have to bring it out in different shapes, in different types. I learned from Guido just told me, Terini, that this will be the watch for this year, but you have to then continue in black, and shading it in different.
When you design the chronograph movement, you know that it's a platform which will be enduring for maybe 4, 5, 6 decades. So it's like when you create an engine in a car industry. So obviously this is the first one, but obviously this means that we enter the chronograph market, and entering the chronograph market, we will explore the several dimensions of the chronograph market the same way we've been doing with the watch market.
You have been doing probably all complications now. Automatic, hand wounding, ultra thin automatic, tourbillon, minute repeater, perpetual calendars missing. Yeah,
we have the 25th anniversary Grand Sonnery perpetual calendar.
Yeah, but
it's not ultra thin, that's for sure. So
no, but in the collection, everything is almost done.
But from the minute repeater, you're right that probably perpetual calendar could be a smart addition.
Or a simple GMT probably.
Which could be an extension of the 3-hand watch, which it's absolutely,
perfectly readable.
Thanks God, it's, and both movements, the Finissimo watch and Finissimo chronograph, have been designed to be evolving platforms and not constraining platforms. Okay. And obviously, the thinner you start, the easier is it to add layers, whereas the other way around is very challenging.
There you go. Jean-Christophe Babin, CEO of Bulgari, being very positive, and thank you, Jean-Christophe, for joining us here.
Alexander, thank you, as usual. You're so documented, knowledgeable.
Oh, come on, you're kidding.
And inspiring. That it's a pleasure
it's good to have people being positive in the industry, and there you saw a CEO being very positive, and this watch could be a success on the Chinese markets, and we're waiting for that, and So thanks guys for watching. If you have any comments to make, please use the comment section here underneath. If you like our videos, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to like our videos. And please do also not forget to have a look at our Instagram and Facebook accounts. And once again, thank you for watching. And Jean-Christophe, mille grazie di nuovo.
Grazie mille, Alexander.
E ci vediamo presto. Ciao ciao.
Brilliant as usual.